All right, welcome to today's episode of Tomorrow's Leader, where we dive deep on all things leader related to leading yourself and leading other people. So not long ago, I was in need of a haircut, as those of you who are watching on YouTube, you know I am right now. And I had to get a haircut pretty quickly. I was on my way to do a presentation, and I had called and begged my person who normally cuts my hair to squeeze me in, and she did. So she got an appointment for me. I showed up, I arrived, and the person at the front said, "Oh, you know, she's really backed up. She's behind, so it's going to be probably another 45 minutes to an hour. Is there any way you can come back?" And I said, no, I can't. I've got all kinds of stuff going on today. And I had to get a haircut. So I'm like, is there anybody else that might be available? And the girl checked the schedules and stuff like that. And she looked and she said, yeah, actually, Allie is available. If you want to have Allie cut your hair, she's available right now. I said, all right, sounds good. I don't know Allie. I don't know who she is, but yeah, terrific. So I got escorted to a chair. I sat down, and Allie's cutting my hair, and we're going through the normal stuff and just making light chit chat and everything like that. And she's asking me what I do, and then I asked her. I said, "So, how long have you been here?" And she said, "Oh, about 2 weeks." I said, "Oh, okay, cool. I guess that's why I've never seen you here before." And I said, "How do you like it?" She was saying, "Great." I said, "So where were you before?" And she said, "Oh, I was a teacher." And I'm like, meaning teacher, mean hairstylist teacher? She said, "No, I was a kindergarten teacher." I said, "You were a kindergarten teacher before 2 weeks ago? So you've been 2 weeks in this job, like 2 weeks cutting hair?" She said, "Yeah. I just got done with got my certification, and this is my first job." And I'm like, "Oh, okay. I guess I didn't realize that." And anyways, all of a sudden I'm a little bit more nervous, and so. Any event, she got her certification. I'm thinking, okay, that's fine, no big deal. I mean, that's probably a fairly rigorous training and program and process to get that certification. She obviously knows what she's doing. She's hired here. So I'm, one of her first few clients. Who cares? Whatever. So it's only hair. So we're going through the haircut, the appointment, and we're in the middle of talking. I'm in the middle of saying something, and all of a sudden I feel this sharp pain in my head. I'm like, "Ow!" And I'm like, and I'm like, and she's like, she's standing above me, and she said, "I'm so sorry. I hit you with the scissors." And I'm like, wow, that really hurt. I've never had pain in a haircut before. I didn't know that was possible. And I'm like, wow, right on the top of my head too. And she's like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry." And I can see her in the mirror, and she's looking down at my head, and her eyes are wide open, and she's like got this ghastly look on her face, like, and I'm like, well, I'm looking in the mirror. I'm like, what? And I give my hand, and I pull my hands out, and there's blood on my hand. I'm like, what? I'm like, she's like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry." And she's running around and grabbing, paper towels and stuff like that, and places freaking out. I guess I was probably their first, injured customer that they've had in the place in a long time. And it was the first haircut I've ever left bleeding. So, in any event, it hurt. And I got blood, just was not good. So, in any event, we got through the haircut, and it was fine, whatever. But it was a painful experience, and I did not look my best when I left there, and didn't feel my best. But nevertheless, here's what this got me realizing, and here's what this got me thinking. What does this have to do with leadership? Well, it has a lot to do with business, and it has a lot to do with people's tendencies, because it's amazing at how our society has become so impatient, right? We have this need to get everything we need to get done right now, right? It has to get done right now. So there's a situation, hey, not only was I willing, and I would have been willing to pay more to get a haircut right then, but I was willing to take a risk. We're willing as humans to do things we wouldn't normally do to get what we want right now. And you think about companies like Amazon. One of the great reasons, for many reasons, Amazon is so successful for many reasons, but one is you can get stuff really quick despite everything that's happened right now in COVID. But normally I can order something on Amazon today and I can get it tomorrow. There's sometimes I've even gotten it in the same day. That's amazing. So because of that speed, even though I might be able to go somewhere else and it might be even cheaper, but it's more convenient, it's the speed, I can get it right now. I see businesses that don't understand this. I see leaders that make this fatal mistake of not understanding the importance that there's such a high premium and value on speed. Businesses lost all the time. Businesses go out of business because they don't understand this simple premise. And if you just think about what is happening, and you can see some really easy observations. And I'll give you another example. Just this last couple of days, my computer crashed. And it's not an old computer. It's from last year, my laptop, and my whole business runs through that computer. So it's obviously an important tool for me. And it just went dead. No battery, nothing. I couldn't figure it out. I'm calling Apple support. They're telling me. Now, what's great is they've got the chat feature, so I don't need to wait for somebody on the phone. Again, they understand the urgency sense, the sense or need for urgency. So I'm chatting with somebody on Apple support. They're leading me through the process, trying to diagnose it and figure out the problem myself. They're doing a great job, but nothing's working. I can't figure out how to get this computer on. It is dead. Worst case is to make matters worse, I have a presentation that evening. This was just a couple of days ago. I have a presentation, live presentation that I'm doing that evening. And this is about 10:30 in the morning. So I only have a matter of hours. I have to get this thing resolved. So Apple says, you know what? This is a problem. We can't deal with it over the phone. You're going to have to take it in somewhere. I said, oh, geez. All right. Where's the closest place? All the Apple stores are closed. So there's one place that's located about maybe half an hour away, and not many options. It's just this one of maybe two places. So I call up the place and they say, listen, we are slam packed. We have so many computers we're working on. We're so backlogged. We're not going to be able to get to it for at least 2, but maybe 3 weeks. Not like days, not like I was hoping hours, but weeks. And I'm like, I can't do that. That's not even an option. I cannot do that. I said, what is the other option? What will it take for you guys to do it? Is there any way you can shortcut the line, do something? Can I get somebody to look at this today? I'm in desperate need. And he said, well, yes, we can put it to the front of the line. It will cost an extra $120 to do that. Honestly, I didn't have a choice. It wasn't even a thought. Absolutely. Great. Okay, terrific. Got my credit card out, got it done. Now it's being looked at as we speak, as I'm taping this. But bottom line is I shortcutted 2 or 3 weeks only because I had the option. And because I had the option to fast track it and I was willing to pay more, that business does better and my needs are met, right? So both people win in reality. But there's tons of businesses that actually don't understand the importance of at least giving that option. If you run a business or you're a leader and you don't have a tier for certain clients, a certain level of service that gives them an option to pay more, and they'll be willing to, for a higher level of service defined as faster service or better service or both, because faster is better, then you're missing an opportunity. I see lots of businesses that get bottlenecked. They feel like they can't even take on more clients and they haven't solved for that problem. So the answer is they just don't. They don't take on any more clients or they stop marketing. Well, you're missing a boat on a whole nother opportunity. Why not create this other avenue for people, for clients, to get a higher level of service and pay more money if they're willing to do that, faster level of service, and allow others to follow your normal process and the normal time frame because others may not want to pay for that. Another great example is you see doctors that have this concierge service that's becoming incredibly popular. People don't want to wait 3 weeks or not 3 weeks, 3 months sometimes or 6 months to get in to see a doctor. They want 24/7. They want to be able to call their doctor and be able to get in today or get in tomorrow. Doctors have become smart. They said, you know what if we charge people a couple $100 or a few $100 a month? Would people be willing to do that to have full access to me? I've got a friend who has a doctor and she's texting, multiple, once a week on little stuff, whatever. But just the access is fantastic. That level of service and knowing that your doctor is going to get right back to you versus having to wait a few days or have to wait, a few months to get your answer or get an appointment. People are willing to pay for that. Again, I see businesses bottlenecked by this. You see Easy Pass has gotten smart. They've started in certain areas to have variable pricing based on the traffic. Now, I used to live in DC. Now, I used to live in Boston, which is horrific traffic. For those of you who live in Boston, when I moved down to DC, people said, oh, you got to wait till you see the traffic there. I said, been there, done that. I lived in Boston. I got down to DC. I've never seen anything like it. So for those listeners that are down in DC, you know what I'm talking about. It will be Sunday at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and it will be jammed. The highways will be jammed. Traffic. And I don't even know why. There's no construction. There's nothing. It's just the rhythm. It just happens. You don't even know when. You don't even know how. Unbelievable amounts of traffic. Well, they've gotten smart. They now have Easy Pass lanes that, hey, you know what? If you're willing to pay more, and sometimes it's a lot more, they'll let you go in that lane, and there's significantly less traffic because there's less demand for it, or there's more demand for it, but there's less people taking that opportunity. So there's less people in that lane. So that's smart, right? It's not just creating, you got to think out through other options. This day and age, businesses move fast, clients move fast. We have options, right? If I don't get an answer, I just emailed somebody a second time because I didn't get a response back after 48 hours. You know, and my email was, hey, I don't know if you got this, but I need this answer. Well, you know, most people are not going to send another email. They're just going to go to somebody else. Now, this was a situation I need an answer from that person, but if it was a sales situation, if I don't get an answer back quickly or response, you know what? I'm going to lose interest. I'm going to go on to one of the other million things going on in my life, just like everybody else. So again, leaders forget the importance that speed is critical with what we do. If your processes are too long, and again, I see businesses that have unnecessary steps in their process. All it does is add more room for error, more possibility for things to fall through the cracks, because that's another step in the process, and it elongates the process. If you can do something in 2 steps versus 3 or 4, why not do it in 2 steps? Because that ultimately is going to mean better service and a better experience for the client. You know, I have businesses that run run service businesses, clients that run service businesses that are at capacity. And they have clients that may want to get in that next day or talk to them in off hours. And those businesses are resistant to changing their pricing or opening up more time. Well, what if you did both? What if you did offer some additional times off hours, but had different pricing models? People would pay for that additional level of service. There are people that would say, hey, you know what? I understand I'm tapping into your services in off hours. I want that ability and that access, and I'll be willing to pay for it. So bottom line is, one of the key ingredients to success, you got to have quality. You got to be able to deliver that quality and that service. You got to be able to do it fast. Take the Amazon method. That's a key to one of the many keys to their success, just the speed of how they do things. So some quick thoughts, a couple of funny stories. I hope you've gained some further insight on that. Think about how that applies to your life. You know, how can you shortcut or streamline your systems and the things that you do to make things easier and a little bit faster? If something that's a key task can take a little bit less time for you to do and still get the same outcome, well, now you got time to do other stuff and enjoy your life, right? And that's what it's all about. So again, keep sharing, keep adding suggestions, comments, likes, very much appreciate it. I have more great stuff coming in the next few days. Stay tuned. And again, make sure you're subscribed. Okay? Thanks. Have a good one.